If you really can't stand Kim Jong-un, the North Korean leader, his incredibly over-the-top eating habits, and a luxurious lifestyle is sure to make you dislike him even more while his own people are dealing with extreme hunger and malnutrition. He's indulging in the world's finest cheeses, savoring expensive liquors, and casually tossing around thousands of dollars for a single night of entertainment. Stay tuned and watch this video till the end, because this is what a typical day in the life of Kim Jong-un looks like. For most world leaders, mornings begin with schedules, advisors, and alarms. For Kim Jong-un, mornings begin with fear. Fear projected onto an entire city. At dawn, across Pyongyang, state-controlled loudspeakers erupt with a haunting anthem, "Where are you, dear general?" Written in honor of his late father, Kim Jong-il. It's less a song than a ritual, a hymn that seeps into every home, every street corner, every ear. Imagine waking up each day not to bird song, but to the voice of propaganda echoing across your capital, like a ghostly reminder that your leader is always watching. But Kim himself, he doesn't hear it. While his people wake to eerie music and mandatory obedience, their leader sleeps in absolute silence, sealed behind the walls of his private palace. That palace, the Wrong Song residence, is no ordinary home. Built in 1983, it's a compound of unimaginable luxury. Lakefront banquet halls where foreign delicacies are served, a 50-meter swimming pool with water slides that could rival a resort, private horse stables and a racetrack, athletic fields, a shooting range, and even underground tunnels to keep him hidden from attack. To outsiders, it looks like a billionaire's retreat. To North Koreans, it's forbidden ground, reserved only for their supreme leader. And then there's the myth. In North Korea, propaganda isn't just about politics, it's about biology. State media insists that Kim Jong-un, like his father and grandfather before him, is too perfect to perform basic human functions. He doesn't sweat, they say. He doesn't use the bathroom. His body is divine, incapable of waste. Absurd, completely. But in a land where belief isn't optional, myths like these become law. Children grow up repeating them. Adults are forced to nod along, and anyone who dares question them risks vanishing into silence. For you and me, coffee is a morning ritual, something simple, maybe even rushed. For Kim Jong-un, coffee is a performance of power. When he finally rises, the first order of business is not governing, not speeches, not strategy. It's coffee, but not just any coffee. He insists on the rarest Brazilian blends, flown in at staggering costs. Some of these beans sell for $500 per pound, and in 2016 alone, North Korea reportedly imported nearly $1 million worth, all for the supreme leader's morning cup. In a nation where most families boil grass for broth, Kim's coffee isn't just caffeine, it's a symbol. A reminder that while his people ration food, their leader begins each day with a drink more valuable than their yearly income. And it doesn't stop at the price. His coffee is brewed, ground, and prepared with meticulous care. Fresh beans roasted on site, presented in porcelain fit for royalty, served with the kind of precision usually reserved for the world's most exclusive cafes. For Kim, coffee is more than a beverage. It's a statement that even the most ordinary of rituals must be elevated into something extraordinary, that while the nation suffers, he will always sip the rarest, most unreachable luxury the world can offer. If Kim's coffee is excessive, his breakfast is obscene. While 12 million North Koreans struggle with hunger, their leader sits down each morning to a feast that would look extravagant even in the world's finest hotels. No cereal, no toast. For Kim, breakfast begins with the kind of meats most of his citizens will never even see. Imported Italian prosciutto, thick slices of Wagyu beef from Japan, Kobe steak, considered one of the most expensive cuts of meat on earth, fetching $200 to $500 per pound. Kim likes his steak rare, a taste he inherited from his father. In fact, their former personal chef once revealed how father and son would dine on Kobe beef together, turning breakfast into a ritual of luxury. Next comes sushi, but not just any sushi. Kim demands toro, the fattiest, richest part of the tuna, a delicacy that adds to his growing waistline, rumored at nearly 300 pounds. And then there's cheese. Not ordinary cheese, but Swiss Emmental, an obsession that began during his time in Switzerland. Switzerland. He loves it so much that in 2014 his addiction left him with severe gout. Yet the obsession continued, so much so that North Korean officials once tried and failed to learn French cheese making just to satisfy his cravings. Seafood follows, of course. Imported lobster, Caspian Sea caviar, even shark fin soup, a dish banned across much of the world for its cruelty, but still placed at Kim's table without question. And finally, drinks. If coffee wasn't enough, Kim often pairs his meals with snake wine, a bottle containing an entire cobra inside, believed in his country's tradition to boost vitality. For his people, breakfast means boiled rice, bean paste, maybe a few scraps of vegetables. For their leader, it means plates stacked with the world's most exclusive meats, cheeses, and seafood, all flown in under sanctions, all consumed without a second thought. In North Korea, hunger is a weapon, but for Kim Jong-un, hunger is entertainment. By midday, Kim Jong-un is ready to step out, but not as a leader making real decisions. What he presents to his people is a performance, carefully staged to reinforce the myth of the supreme leader. His routine often includes visits to farms, construction sites, or factories. Crowds cheer, soldiers salute, cameras capture every handshake. But behind the curtain, it's all theater, designed to portray Kim as a man of the people, even as he dines on lobster and Kobe beef. Every appearance is orchestrated. From the moment he steps into view, his tailored suits and symbolic gestures are chosen to echo strength. Sometimes he wears dark Western suits and ties, but more often he dons a Mao-style jacket, an intentional homage to his grandfather, Kim Il-sung. His look isn't accidental. It's a costume crafted to keep him tied to the dynasty's image. Even his haircut is propaganda. The shaved sides and puffed top aren't just vanity, they're exclusivity. North Korea officially recognizes 28 approved hairstyles, 18 for women, 10 for men, but not one of them is his. Why? Because no one is allowed to look like him. His appearance is off limits to every other citizen, and while he plays king in public, his private passions are far more personal. Chief among them, basketball. Kim's obsession began in Switzerland, where he studied as a boy and idolized the Chicago Bulls. That obsession grew into a bizarre friendship with NBA legend Dennis Rodman, whom Kim once called a friend for life. For a nation cut off from the outside world, this was Kim's back channel to America, not through diplomacy, not through politics, but through basketball. A surreal friendship born not of ideology, but of obsession. For his people, midday means labor, rations, and survival. For Kim, it means cameras, costumes, and the theater of leadership, a performance staged to keep the illusion alive. Sanctions mean little when you're Kim Jong-un. On paper, North Korea is one of the most isolated economies in the world. In practice, its leader drives cars that most billionaires would envy. Kim's personal garage is estimated to hold over 100 luxury vehicles, among them an Audi R8 worth $160,000, a fleet of Range Rovers, multiple Rolls-Royce Phantoms, and his crown jewel, an armored Mercedes Maybach limousine valued at $1.6 million. When CIA Director Mike Pompeo visited Pyongyang, Kim didn't arrive in secrecy. He rolled up in a $500,000 Rolls-Royce Phantom, a statement on wheels that said, "Sanctions don't apply to me, but cars are only the beginning." His wrist alone tells a story of excess. According to reports, Kim's watch collection is valued at over $8.2 million, ranging from Swiss tourbillons to high-end European chronographs. For a man who cultivates the image of a socialist revolutionary, his accessories scream billionaire playboy. And then there are the yachts. His most famous, a 95-foot luxury vessel named My Princess, is estimated at $7 million. Inside, 3 sprawling decks, a gourmet dining salon, a private theater, and 4 bedrooms with ensuite marble bathrooms. Satellite images show it docked near his seaside villas, ready to sail at a moment's notice. But My Princess isn't alone. Analysts have spotted a second, larger yacht, over 100 feet long, plus fleets of jet skis and leisure boats. Former NBA star Dennis Rodman, one of the few foreigners to see it, compared the experience to a cross between a Disney cruise and a billionaire's resort. For his people, transportation means walking, cycling, or waiting living in rationed bus lines. For Kim, it means choosing between 100 cars, an $8 million watch collection, and a fleet of yachts that glide silently across forbidden waters. Kim Jong-un may live like a billionaire, but he survives like a hunted man. His wealth buys him cars, watches, and yachts, but it also buys him protection. Because in North Korea, the more powerful you are, the more enemies you create. His bodyguards aren't just elite. They're hand-picked. Each one is trained in weapons, hand-to-hand combat, and surveillance. But there's a stranger requirement. None can be taller than 5'5". Why? Because Kim doesn't tolerate being overshadowed. Even in his own security, appearances matter more than practicality. When he moves, he never moves alone. His motorcades are made up of dozens of identical cars, constantly changing positions to confuse would-be attackers. From the outside, you can't tell which one carries the real leader. The same paranoia extends to the skies. Whenever Kim flies, he uses 3 identical planes. They take off together, scatter in different directions, and only one carries him. His flight plans are switched at the last minute, making it nearly impossible for foreign intelligence to predict where or when he'll land, and he has reason to be afraid. In 2017, Kim's estranged half-brother, Kim Jong-nam, was assassinated in Malaysia. 2 women smeared VX nerve agent on his face in a crowded airport. He died within 20 minutes. VX is one of the deadliest chemical weapons on Earth, and the world quickly pointed the finger at Kim Jong-un himself. The message was clear. If he would kill his own bloodline to secure power, what chance does anyone else have? Inside North Korea, that fear trickles down. His residences are ringed with high walls, watchtowers, anti-aircraft guns, and underground escape tunnels. Every conversation is encrypted, every advisor is vetted, and every loyalty test is brutal. Because for Kim, survival isn't trust, it's a suspicion. So while he rides in million-dollar cars and sails $7 million yachts, Kim is never truly free. He lives inside a fortress of fear, shielded not by love, but by paranoia. When night falls in Pyongyang, most citizens return to cramped apartments with no heat, no power, and little food. Kim Jong-un, however, begins a second life, a life of indulgence so lavish it borders on surreal. Inside his private theater, he screens whatever he desires: Hollywood blockbusters, Disney cartoons, James Bond thrillers, even South Korean dramas, ironically banned for everyone else in the country. His theater isn't just entertainment, it's propaganda. On Navy Day, for example, he once hosted hundreds of sailors and screened footage of a missile launch, turning nuclear tests into a spectacle of applause. But the real indulgence begins at his parties. These are no ordinary gatherings. They are spectacles of wealth, with champagne fountains, imported delicacies, and endless liquor. Former NBA star Dennis Rodman, one of the few outsiders to attend, described Kim surrounded by 50 to 60 people at all times, laughing, drinking, and indulging like royalty. Alcohol flows without end. Kim reportedly spends $30 million a year on liquor imports, stocking his cellars with Hennessy cognac, Bordeaux wines, and Cristal champagne. His taste for excess is legendary. In one sitting, he has been rumored to drink 10 bottles of Bordeaux, a feat that could kill an ordinary man. So, what shocked you the most about Kim Jong-un's daily life? Was it the Swiss cheese obsession, the snake wine with the cobra in the bottle, or the assassination of his own half-brother? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into the secrets of dictators and billionaires alike, don't just scroll away. Hit that like button, subscribe to Luxrich, and ring the bell so you never miss the shadows behind the spotlight.